here we are. Larry and I got the 1951 Chevrolet pickup truck owned by Greg Pruitt from the Cleveland Browns. We got it in the garage now, and we got it almost up on the lift. We didn't have enough ass to push it up on there. Wish Mike was here. Anyway, he gets us into these projects. But anyway, what we got going on here is, if you'll look down here, and I'll try to point things out. It's a 6-volt system, and it has a push button on the floor, and when you push the button here, the starter should go. Now I got 6 volts here. I got a good battery. We got it on the charger. We got 6 volts going down to the starter, but the starter is not engaging. We could hear a little click. That was about it. So we're going to try to make sure the engine turns over, and just turn it over by hand. And then if that doesn't happen, then we're going to have to get that starter out of there and see what the problem is. So always fun. Larry and I did some troubleshooting, and it looks like the starter is kaflooey on this truck, and we went ahead and took it out, and we called Napa Auto Parts, and they got one coming tomorrow. So we'll see how we do. We're still working on Greg Pruitt's truck here, 1951 Chevrolet 3100, I think it is. But anyway, I found out a few things now that I've been working on it for a while. It does not have a 1951 motor in it. I haven't run the numbers, but this is probably a 61 and up style motor. But I just want to tell you a couple things we found on the motor. I didn't videotape everything. On Tuesday, I had my brother Rick over here. Rick owned a 1950 GMC, I think, and he had a 1950 Suburban truck, I think. He'll correct me. I hope he stops over today. And the Suburban had the same engine as this guy has. He had done a change too to a later model motor. But anyway, we got the new starter from Napa, got it down in there, got it all hooked up, and I'm gonna show you a few things on that now that it's all done. I didn't know what I was doing when I first started on it, but I'll show you a few things now that I'm done. But anyway, went to hit the starter, and this thing was locked up tight. It would not turn over. It would not turn over, period. It just went, meh. So I was like, oh my gosh, what are we getting ourselves into? This motor's locked up. We checked the radiator. The radiator had a little bit of fluid in it, but it's way down. We looked all over to make sure there's no cracks in the block or anything like that. We pulled the spark plugs out and found out that the spark plugs were brand new. I guess Greg had changed out the spark plugs when this thing wouldn't start. But the reason I pulled the spark plugs out was mainly not to find that out, but I wanted to see the spark plugs to see if they had any water down in the cylinders. Thankfully, that wasn't the case. And just to ease up the motor so it could rotate without compression. So we did that, got all the spark plugs out, but they didn't tell us anything because they were brand new. Anyway, tried to rotate the motor with the starter again, and still nothing. So then we got under the car, and I was able to grab the flywheel. We couldn't turn it with the fan, so I got under with the flywheel, and with my flywheel turner, aka crowbar, I was able to start turning the motor. And I was like, well, what the heck? So I did like half a revolution, and boom, it stopped like nobody's business. It stopped. You could hear it clunk. It was like it hit a bolt or something. And then we were like, well, maybe a bolt backed out on the clutch, and it's hitting something on the block, or blah, blah, blah. I don't know. So we couldn't find anything there. So we turned it back the other way. And we were really scratching our heads because it only turned about 180 degrees. And then it would stop again. Turn it back the other way about 180 degrees, stop again. So we kept going back and forth. Squirt a little bit of oil down each cylinder. And Mike says, let me see what's going on. You know, Mr. Supervisor comes out here. Let me see what's going on. So he bends down here and he's looking at things. Of course, I'm underneath the truck. My brother's looking at things. And I started turning and it was like magic. It went past the stop and it didn't feel bad at all. And he goes, Marky, he says, you know, what's going on? I go, I don't know, it's turning now. So I turn the motor a couple revolutions one way, couple revolutions the other way, and I'm like, we're back in business. So I don't know if there was a little ledge on the cylinder that was rusty and it was just hanging up the piston. But anyway, long story short, the starter does now spin the motor over, and remember, this is a 6-volt system we're dealing with, and we were trying to get gas up to the carburetor. So the next day rolls around. Of course, I work at the coin shop with my son on Wednesday and Thursday, so we zipped over there. Anyway, we started feeding gas in this after work, and we got the thing going. So today, Larry's going to come over and rebuild the carburetor, and I'll show you that. So here's the motor, and just to let you know, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, we weren't getting any spark either. So when Bob was over here with Larry the other day, they changed the coil out, and that's what gave them the spark. So that's a good thing. So down here is the starter. I'll try to move some wires out of the way. And it's got some crazy mechanisms on it that you probably don't notice, because it's a push button start on the floor. So what you do is you push down on here and it engages this button, and then the starter spins. And then you release the button and the spring pulls it back, and it also pulls back the gear from the starter. So now, for some reason, though, this mechanism stuff all here is kind of rigged up, and I think this might be a bigger block and it's hitting the block on the other side, so it doesn't push fully down in there. So we're gonna have to add some metal in here so it pushes down all the way. So we'll get that figured out. But anyway, that was the issue. So starter's working, the engine now. We've got a new coil, and we've got spark, and now we're going to work on the carburetor. Uncle Larry's going to come over and pull the carburetor off and clean that out. It's probably just got some crap in it, because we are getting the pump to pump up some fuel in there, but it's just not making its way through the carburetor. So they've been bottle feeding it to start it, and that's where we're at. All right. So hopefully Uncle Larry will come over here, and my brother will stop over today. We'll get him on camera, and things will be good. I'd show you the battery, 6-volt battery. So you only got 3 cells there, 2 volts per cell. And then of course the the ground is right to the frame there, and then this goes down to the starter. And then over there, like I was saying, it's kind of rigged up. Is the starter button. So we got to get some, we got to work on that, and inside the cab too, or inside the, what do you call it, engine compartment too. And then once we get that done, we got some wires hanging loose, and I think those are all associated with the lights and the turn signals that have been added to this vehicle over the years, and we'll get that straightened out. Now I've got the expert Rick Meldrum over here, and we are inspecting the carburetor, trying to figure it out. So what do you think's wrong with this, Rick?
The needle and seat are stuck closed, or the floats are up against the inside of the carburetor there. And it's probably something real simple.
Yeah. We've tried the tap method, and that didn't So, what do you think? We should take the top of this carburetor off? And
I'd just take the top off, and you can inspect the accelerator pump and see how the floats are working with the needle and seat and all that stuff. Maybe there's just a bunch of dirt in there.
Yeah, most likely. We did find out that the tank was empty. Rick and I were looking things over the other day, and we took the line off, and the tank was empty. So that's, when we put some new gas in there, and we quite probably put some dirt into the carburetor. Who knows? But they say it is pumping gas up there, so we know the pump's working.
Okay.
And like I say, I'm going by what Bob and Larry told me. Larry's on his way over to sometime today. So we're working on several jobs at the same time, and Rick stopped by, so I thought I'd ask him a few things.
Yeah, there's no filter here either.
Yeah. So
there should be one before the pump or up in here.
Yeah. What's Rick's favorite guy is Vice Grip Garage.
Oh yeah.
So what would he a filter majiggy, a dirt taker outer? What would he call that? We got the lightning cap back on, and we got the what are the other things he says? Oh my gosh!
I can't remember, but he likes Wix filters.
Yeah, bring the thunder, he always says.
Yeah.
Well, we got the thunder. We got a new coil on there, so
All right.
we got thunder now. So now it's just a matter of taking this carb off and making sure we got some fuel going down there. All right, here we go. Uncle Larry and Uncle Rick got the carburetor off, and oh my goodness, look down in there.
There's mud.
There's
mud,
Mississippi
biology,
mud down there. Biology, yeah.
all kind of crap.
Look at all that crap.
Yeah, that poor accelerator pump doesn't
Woo!
have a chance.
Hey, boy.
Man, I've never seen so much mud.
I never
Rick,
did.
you can't even blow through the gas hole.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, look at that. Look at my finger. It's mud.
You blow through here, nothing.
Nothing there.
Wow.
It's all blocked up.
Blow a little harder, Larry. Here, what'd Larry take off? That's the
This is the seat
that's where the seat goes,
for the needle.
and it's all clogged up. And then show me the stopper there, Rick. That's all
The
screwed up.
needle.
That's all messed
It's
up.
kind of broken. See
Yeah.
how it's
Broken
crooked?
on the top.
But it's a Chevy. It run.
All right, so Mike shows up for the glory, but Rick and Larry got this thing going. Rebuilt the carburetor. There we go. All right, let her idle. All right, Rick, Larry got this thing going again. We rebuilt the carburetor with what we had, which wasn't much. We begged and borrowed from pieces from things we had laying around, and we got her going. She's idling pretty good. She's not going to go all the way because that filter's clogging up quick. And don't yell at me about a plastic filter. That's all we had. So it's clogging up quick, so we're going to have to basically change that out to something better. You wish you could have heard that big bang. Larry was revving her up, and he blew out the muffler. It sounds a lot better now, but there's definitely a hole in the muffler. What are we ready for?
Rick County Speedway.
Here we come. So, Uncle Larry was revving up the engine on this thing, and I guess we got a little too much fuel in the muffler there, and voila, boom. Now we got open exhaust through there on Greg Pruitt's 1951 Chevrolet pickup truck. Pretty clean under here other than that. Hey, we got Greg Pruitt's truck running. I'm going to drive it off the lift so you can give it a look-see. Here we go. All right, how about that? From Greg Pruitt's 51 Chevy truck to a 1972 heavy Chevy, we're gonna adjust the clutch on this today. It's letting out, the throwout is way too high on the pedal, so let's get to work.